Mistakes broke young adults make. Have you been making mistakes, especially financially? Well, in this video, I would be sharing with you all what to do with your money in your 20s to avoid being broke. So let me give you a little story. I'm not 30 yet in the making of this video, so I've had my ups and downs, probably similar to some of you who are still in your 20s like me, or those who are heading up to their 20s. And one of the things I knew from young is that my mother would tell me to save. And sometimes I would save, sometimes I wouldn't. But I didn't really see the main reason behind saving. So when I was 24 years, a couple years ago, I got a job. In this job, I was exploited. I was, let's say, used, right? And here's what happened. I, of course, wanted more finances, and I was in college at the same time. So the college loan wasn't enough. Apart from that, I had a small business that was like my first business selling accessories and stuff. And these people told me they would pay me around $4,000. It's around that. Actually, was a call center and stuff, and practically commission. And here what happened. The first month I got $900, and based on where I live to where I had to go to work, my monthly passage, because I was traveling, was around $800 a month. So $900 mean I only had $100 remaining to eat, to buy any other things I wanted, which was definitely not enough. Now what they paid me was way beyond minimum wage as well. So I said, okay, the next month I'm gonna work a little harder and probably I'll get some more money. Next month, up to today, I haven't received that money. I eventually left that work about 2.5 months later. They paid me two something for 2 weeks and told me for the month that they didn't pay me, they sent the money through the bank. Apparently the bank stole the money, and I got 100 and something dollars for a month. That wasn't making no sense. So that situation sent me into a financial crisis where I had to use up all my savings. I had to borrow, and things were just really terrible. It was like one of the worst financial crises I had to endure. You know, I know what is happening to nobody, but to get to the point here is that one thing I believe that would have probably helped me to, go through that situation and recover with ease would have been if I saved more money for emergency purposes. So the year before that, I had some money saved, which was for an investment. I actually would have been invested in cryptocurrency. I wanted to increase my investment so I could get a higher return with cryptocurrency. So I had savings for that purpose, but then that ended up being used up and I did not save as much. So by the time that crisis came around, the money I had probably only last me a week or a couple of days. So I want to share scripture before I go through a couple mistakes and a couple of things that you all want to do to avoid experiencing brokenness in your 20s or any time or any point in your life. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5 says, "A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel." If I had this information probably before I finished high school, or probably that I'm going to share with you all now, before my 20s, I believe I would have been a little bit more careful with my finances. So a mistake that a lot of young people make, especially when you are in your 20s, similar to me, was that we spend all our money. You earn money, you spend. It's about buying, those like to eat like me, it's about buying food, or it's about buying clothing. you know, looking good, all your little perfume and all that stuff is all about buying. So yes, it's important to save, because if you keep spending everything, you won't have enough, some people say, for a rainy day. So of course, the solution is to save enough money for emergency purposes. So everybody will have an idea of um if something was to happen to you now, if you're dependent, let's say you have a parent or two who provide you with financing. Of course, we don't wish for anything to happen to them, but life does give us some kind of surprises sometimes. So you want to make sure and save. Let's say something happened to them and they can't finance you, or they're no longer on earth. You want to have enough financing or savings that could take you probably a month, 2, 3, whatever your risk level is. So some persons might prefer to save for an entire year. I mean, that's long, because I'm certain you'll be able to get a job or something if that's what you're looking for, start a business in less than a year. Some might go for 6 months, some might go for 3 months. So it depends on your risk level and how long you think you would be able to recover from any financial issue in life. So another thing with that same savings is something that I've struggled with. Sometimes you want to save a whole lot of money right here one time. Consistency is better, in the sense that, okay, it's at least better to save 500 for a couple months until you reach your savings goal or your emergency savings goal, and then you can do other things with your money. All right, so another mistake that some of you want to avoid in your 20s, before your 20s, and even as you age, is, some people, they love to party, get drunk, watch a whole lot of movies or TV or just social media, and just wasting time. Now, I'm not saying not to do any of these things. Let me stick up in. Neither do I condone drunkenness, because I'm a believer in Christ, and I don't condone like partying. Yes, I would like attend gospel concerts, but in my 20s, as I said, I'm still there. I'm almost to the end of it. But I did, let's say, the movies part off and on. Like today I was watching a couple movies, and it's Sunday, so yeah, sometimes on Sundays I try to cool off a little bit, because the week is pretty hectic being a business owner, right? So you don't want to, some young people say, I'm young, let me do this, let me do that, let me party, let me enjoy my life, and then you are financially broke. Do you like being broke? Do you like being hungry? Do you like that? I've gone through that based on the story I just shared. I don't like being broke. Especially when you had money before. It is worse when you had that experience of having money and then you lose money. It is terrible. So you don't want to go down that road. So invest. And when I say invest in your education. Now, I just tell students, and I would say this to anybody, any learner, make sure whatever education you're investing in is aligned or connected to your future career, destiny, whatever you want to accomplish in life. Because even as an educator myself, I tell students the government or the public education system only takes you so far in life, right? A lot of persons have big dreams, big goals, and they're not able to accomplish their dreams because they don't understand how far in life the education system will get them, and they have all this faith and belief in the system that they go straight up to doctorate and still don't get to accomplish what they want to accomplish in life. So yes, invest in education, whether it be formal like college, such as degree, masters, doctorates, or if it be like me at this point and moments in my life, in coaches, business coaches, because they want to make sure that your business is successful, you don't experience failure or don't experience failure again. So put aside some money. If you save already for emergency, you can set aside money for investments like these, or you can borrow money to invest in your education, right? So make sure and keep learning. Now, hear this from me, some of you who know me and heard my other stories about my life. Once upon a time, I never used to like to study. At this moment in life, when it comes to things that I love, like business and ministry and teaching and stuff, I don't mind reading, I don't mind doing a little bit of research, listening videos, educating myself, because it is my passion. So once you find your passion, no matter how much you educate yourself, you will always want to know more, because you want to keep getting better, you want to master that particular field, skill, etc. So invest in your education. The last one I'm going to share with you before I end this video is another mistake. Invest in an asset. Now, a lot of persons don't study business, and you may not have heard about assets if you never studied business before, but invest in an asset. Now, you probably wonder, what is an asset? An asset is anything that is either cash already, but in this case, I am talking mainly about a particular, it could be an equipment, a machine, a business, a book, whatever, that could make you money aside from wherever you get money from. So you have like that additional stream of income. Some assets could be passive, meaning help you to make money while you sleep. Others could be active, but it depends. You need to make sure you're clear what asset you want. So invest in an asset. So when you invest in an asset, you know, a number of us have dreams and we want to, you know, get certain material things in life, like probably a BMW or Audi, a big nice $1 million house, I don't know, $500,000 house, whatever you want, right? A lot of persons, and I will have done this too if I was not educated and read this book by the great Dr. Myra Golan, his book From a Cash Man to a Trash Man. I recommend you read that book if you want to come up from poverty and financial difficulties into wealth or riches, anything around that, or have some financial stability and stuff. Because one of the things I learned from that book is that you don't want to take your earnings, especially if you're working in your 20s or you have a business, you don't want to take your money and buy a car or have to down pay for a car or for a mortgage. You want to have an asset, invest in an asset that will make you so much money that that asset pays for your car and your house, and you still have money and you don't end up in your rat race. And some of you know what the rat race is, right? The financial struggle, where when you get money, you spend or pay for bills if you have to pay for bills, then you do other recreational fun activities, and then you probably pay for a car, and then you have no money at the end of the month. You might have some savings, or you might have some to save or not, and then every month it goes like that. By the time you get money within a couple of days or week, before the month is over, your money done. It's the rat race. So to avoid that, invest in an asset. So I could give you all again some more examples, as I said, or I could give you all my example. One of the assets that I have is my business. It's called Beyond Top Succeeders Academy, where I offer educational services to students from a variety of ages. So that business makes me money. And as I grow, I could actually use profits or from the excess to buy whatever I want, you know, any personal stuff, you know, big or high price items. I was gonna say some big game items, but high price items. So another asset I have is books. That is something I recently started doing. And the thing about books though is that when you write it once, you don't have to write it again, and when it starts generating you money, as long as you keep promoting it, because you have to keep promoting it, you can't expect the book to sell itself if it's hidden in a box or wherever you have it, right? That asset will continue to make you money. So there are different ways that you could create assets, either products or services. Some of them, depending on how you structure, if it's a business itself, you may end up having to work in the business unless you hire people and apply leverage, because leverage helps you to get where you want to go faster, right? So I'm not going into all this business terminology and stuff, but I do encourage you to invest. There's also stocks or shares. So that's another thing I do with credit unions, and there are certain banks and different companies that are public liability companies, limited liability. You'll see them on your country's stock exchange, Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, or Jamaica, USA, whatever stock exchange. Of course, you want to do research, learn about how stocks work and those things. And from my experience, from investing as a shareholder in a credit union, I earn dividends or profits yearly. So that's another way of, investing. So that is it for this video. Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you want to hear more information about this or more videos like this. Y'all take care. Bye.